everyone, this is Mrs. Rozier from Richmond City Public Schools, and I'm going to do a math unique learning systems lesson with you today. And what we're going to do, we're going to do addition, and we're going to do learn the calculator, and we're going to add some fractions, okay? And this lesson number is lesson number 19A. It's still dealing with our DNA. Why do I look different? Okay, and we're going to talk about the flower garden. And when they talk about the flower garden, these children, the students, are going to be planting things. And planting is our first word of our topic words today. It means to plant seeds, put seeds in the ground so it will bloom. Plant, to plant. And we're going to still talk about DNA, and that's our next word. DNA is the basis of what you are chemically. And what did we say that word was? Deoxyribonucleic acid. That's where we get DNA. DNA. That's where we get that. The next word is traits. What makes a person different from another person? Traits. And then the last word is parents. Parents, our mother and father. All right, so our math literacy words are, what are we doing today? We're going to add. We're going to add and a plus sign. That's what that means. Plus sign means to add all together, put everything all together. And when we are writing our equations, at the end we have these two little lines, and that means equal. Equal, exactly the same, be exactly the same, or mathematical equality. What's the total? Equal. What is your solution? What is it? What's the answer? That's what we do when we have our equal sign. What is it equal to? We're also going to do, what do we know? What do we know of this word? What is this? Denominator. Denominator. All right? Denominator. It's right here. That's part of a fraction that is below the line and acts as the divisor of the number. Denominator. That's the red 4. Denominator. And another word is part. Part. Okay? A part. This part is color. So that's part of the whole. Part. A piece of the whole. Then we have the whole. That means all of it. All of it. Everything is colored. All of the sections are colored. Whole. Another word is to count. Is to name the consecutive numbers in order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. And when we write our equations, we were talking about the equal sign. The equal sign, that would be it. 1 plus 1 equals 2. So this means solve. We're solving right behind the equal sign. That's to solve. Our numerator is a part of a fraction above the line. The number to be divided by the denominator. That's the red 3. Numerator. Then we have another word, all together. All together. That's everything. All of it. All together. When we're adding, we count everything and we get all together. You count everything you see. Y'all remember these? What are these? Fractions. Fractions. And this is a fraction. This is a addition fraction right here. All right. And a fraction is a part of a whole. A part of a whole. And we have what? More, amounting to a large number, more. I wouldn't want 2. I would want 7 pieces of candy because I want more. All righty, very good. So make sure you go over those words. Make sure you go over those words. All right, so let's begin with addition. So Mary Beth is counting items in the school flower garden. She counts 4 shovels. She counts 2 pots. How many items does Mary Beth count all together? How many does she count all together? How many? How many? Let's count. Count everything you see. How many? Let's see. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. And that number 6. Very good. All right. Ryan and Randy are planting flowers. Remember we said the word planting, putting a seed in the ground and then so it can grow. So they are planting flowers in the school flower garden. Ryan plants 3 flowers. Randy plants 5 flowers. How many flowers do they plant all together? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So number of flowers they plant all together are what? 8. Very good. Good job. All right, so let's continue. We have some other things that we're going to learn. Yes, let's go down to our calculator. All right, so we're going to talk about a calculator. In our calculator, we're going to talk about how we put our numbers in. We follow and put our numbers in, and I have a calculator here. Mine speak to me. So we have 48 plus 27. So the first thing we're going to do is put the top number in. The top number is 4 and 8, okay? Then, so we push those numbers. Now, if we make a mistake, we're going to hit clear, the C, all righty? And the bottom number, let's put the bottom number in. Let's hit our sign first because we are adding. So we have to put the what? The plus sign. And the plus sign over here is over here with all of the symbols. You have the division sign. You have the multiplication sign. You have the subtraction sign. And we have the plus sign. That's the one we want to hit. Plus. And then we're going to put the bottom number in. What's the bottom number? 27. Let's put our digits in. The first digit would be 2 and 7. Okay, and remember the equal sign? That means the mathematical equality. What is the equal sign? What is the solution? What are we solving for? Equals to what? Let's put those, press the one with the double lines, and it's right there beside the addition sign. What? Is equals 75. So we're going to do some problems that has, that has more over 50, the number 50. That's over the number 50. Okay, so let's go and get that. Let's go and get that. Oh, okay. So just remember when you're using the calculator that you won't have to worry about the carrying right now with the calculator. So we're just practicing with the calculator. So Danielle is putting away items from the school flower garden in the shed. She puts away 26 shovels and 35 pots. How many items does Danielle put away all together? Remember, all together. Now here we have to regroup, okay? But we're just going to put these in and use our calculator because we're practicing how to use the calculator. All right, so we hit the clear. We hit the clear. Okay, and now we're going to put those in with your calculator. You're going to put the number 2 and the number 6 in, and then we hit our plus sign. That's our operation, plus sign. Let me hit it again. Plus, we're going to put the 3 in, 3 and 5, and we're going to hit the equal sign with the 2 lines. Hit it. 61. Okay, so we're going to put those numbers in. We put 61. 1. Very good. So that's what you do when you have the calculator. You can add those that are more than 50. All righty, so let's keep going. And we're going to do let's do a carrying without the calculator. Alrighty, so let me make that larger because sometimes you may not have a calculator and you may need to add it without the calculator. So you set up your addition problem. Okay, now this is a 3-digit number, 100s, and we're in the hundreds place now because we got our ones, our tens, and our 100s, and our hundreds, not a 100, hundreds. So Danielle sees 265 photos. Brent has 187 photos. Okay, now don't say and, don't say 265. You don't say 100 and 265 because that's not the proper way to say it. Okay, we say 265 plus 187. Now we're going to add this side first. So this side is 7. 5 plus 7 equals what? 12. All right, so we're only working with the one side. So then we're going to write down that number on the one side because see, all the one sides go together. So we're going to write a 2. And then in this little box, we're going to put that 10 there because it's 12. So we need to take that rod, that 10, and put it right here beside that 6, making this number more. So we're going to write the number 1 and write the number right beside that 2. We're going to write the number 2 on this side. All righty, let's go up here. Step number 4. Okay, so we're adding. So we'll add 8 plus, now this is a 10 that we added to the 6. So this becomes a 7 plus 8. 7 plus 8 is 15. So now we have another 1, 15. So we put that 1, put the 5 here under that tens place and carry that 1 over to the next placement. So we write the number 1, write the number 5 in the middle. So we write the number 1 in the box and we write the number 5 there. So now we have to add all of these. So it's 2. This becomes 1 plus 2 plus 1 is what? And it is 4. So we write the 4 down here. So now the number is 452. Nope, don't say and. Don't say 452. We're going to say 452. So now that's your answer. 452. Now that's how we carry. When you have 2 places, you put the ones in the ones column, you put the 10, the next number in the tens place in the tens column right here. And that's how we add carrying. Or you can use your calculator and put those in correctly. Okay? Alrighty, so let's see how that works. We're going to do this. Okay, so here we go. It says Randy and Ryan are planting seeds in the school flower garden. Randy plants 122 seeds, Ryan plants 116 seeds. How many seeds do they plant all together? So we have the number of seeds Randy plants. Randy plants 122. The number of seed Ryan plants. Ryan plants 116. So it's 122 plus 116. Now I didn't say 116 because that's how we say the number. 116. Okay? So how many seeds? Let's count. Let's do this. Okay. So we have 6 plus 2. Then we can use our count on method. We're going to use our count on method. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Let me see, they want us to start here. Okay. All righty. So we have that here. All righty. So that's 8. So that's 1 plus 1 is what? 2. They want us to start. What we normally do, we should start from here to there. So we can put our carrying and our borrowing and carrying over there. So this is 2 plus 1 is what? 3. And then 6 plus 2, we already said that was what? 8. Okay. And usually when we count, we would do it 8 first, then the 3, and then the 2. All right, good job, guys. All right, let's continue, and we're going to go on to do our fractions. Okay, so we have here, what fractions is what? A fraction is part of a whole. We have a part and then we have the whole thing. So the 3 is the part and it's also what? The numerator. Then we have a part, we have the whole, which is denominator, the whole thing. So right here it says one whole rectangle. It's not divided or anything. One whole rectangle is right here. Now we're going to divide it into 4 equal parts. So we did. We have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now we're going to shade how many? 3 of the 4 equal parts shaded. 1, 2, 3. And 3 out of the 4 blocks are shaded. So 3/4 are shaded. 3 and then fourths. 3, it says number 3 is the number of parts shaded. 1, 2, 3. 4 is the total number of parts in the whole. 1, 2, 3, 4, all together. Okay? So other ways to represent a fraction, we have here part of a set. 1, 2, 3, 4 is still, you count all of them, everything you see, count the whole thing. So all of it will be 4 and only 3 are shaded. Even on the number line where you have a ruler, you have 1/4, 1/2, 3/4, and then you have 1, meaning all of those. So to be 3/4. Here's the fraction bar. Same thing. You have 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, and all of them together is 3/4. Or in the fraction circle, you have 3/4. Okay, just like here. You see my circle? One whole circle. Okay, now, and I divided it, and it becomes what? You have how many places here? 1 and 2. Okay, so now if we need to cut it in half, we will cut it in half. Let's cut it in half. We have the 1/2 here. Okay, we have 2 parts, 1, 2, and we cut it in half, and that will make how many pieces now? How many pieces we will have? 2 pieces. This is a half of the piece. This is the other half. You put them together, half. So you have how many pieces? 2. 1, 2. 2 pieces is divided right down the middle. If it was all together, just one, it would be one whole thing like this. Just one. All right, let's go on. Good job, guys. You are doing an awesome job. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, let's solve some problems. Let's see. It says, let's go to the next one. Let's go back. Let's see. Yeah, let's go back. Okay, so it says Randy is looking at seeds he planted. 3 out of 10 seeds he planted have started to grow. Shade in the fraction of seeds that have started to grow. Type the fraction in the box. Okay, so Randy planted how many? So we said the whole. This will be the denominator. All of the boxes, the C's. So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so we have 10 boxes all together. Now, how many of those boxes were colored? 3. Let's count. Shade them in. 1, 2, 3. So let's put the numbers in here. So we start with the whole first. 10. And how many were colored? 3. Very good. So Randy is counting flowers blooming in the garden. 1 out of 9 plants has flowers. Shade in the fraction of plants that have flowers. Type the fraction in the box. So what fraction of plants have flowers? So how many did he say? He said it was what? 1. And how many were all together? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So let's put all together first. When we do our fraction, we'll put the denominator in first. 9. And how many were colored? Bloom. It is 1. Very good. Now, remember we were talking about the different ways to represent a fraction? Now here's a fraction circle. Randy is using some of the bags of soil he bought. He uses 2 of the 7 bags he bought to plant seeds. Shade in the fraction of bags of soil he used to plant seeds. Type the fraction in the box. What fraction of bags of soil did Randy use? Okay, so he bought how many? He bought 7 bags and he does what? So that's all of the bags. He bought 7. So that's the whole. Everything he bought was 7. Now, how many did he use? 1, 2, is it 3? It's 2. Yes. So we put 2 there. All right, very good. All right, the next one, we're still working with the fraction wheel. Randy is checking to see if the shovels were put away. 7 out of 9 shovels were put away. Shade in the fraction of shovels that were put away. Type the fraction in the box. So we said he had how many of the shovels? Blank out of 9. So he had 9 out altogether. And we can count the sections in the wheel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So what would go here? What would the number 9 go? Would it go in the denominator or the numerator? The denominator. Why would it go into the denominator? Why? Because that's all of them. That's all that he bought. That's the whole thing. Now, how many did he put of those 9 away? He put in 7. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens if you try to put 8. It wouldn't work. So he did what? 7. Very good. You all are so smart. You all are so smart. All right, let's keep going. There's lots to learn in this lesson here. Lots to learn. All right, so now remember we talked about the wheel. Now we're going to add fractions. Now I know this is a lot in here. Just take your time, rewind it, and go to certain parts of it. Go to certain parts of it, and just take your time and go at your own pace, okay? So we have adding fractions. So we have a part, a whole, numerator, and denominator. Now look at our fraction wheel. We have how many sections? That will be all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the whole. Now how many are colored? 1, 2, 3. So that will be our what? Numerator, and all of it will be our denominator. Okay, when the wholes are divided into the same number, add the parts together. So when we're talking about adding fractions, the denominator needs to be the same. It needs to be the same. Okay, so when we have the same denominators, when we're adding those, it's very, very simple. When you have different denominators, then you have to do something different. You have to do a different process. But we're just talking about same or like denominators, adding fractions with like denominators. That means that the denominators are the same. All right. And remember the colored numbers up here, these are the numerators. All right. So the first one, what's the representation for this fraction wheel? You have four of them. You have four of them, and then you have one colored. Okay. So that's 1/4. Okay, and that's the word we use, fourth. All right, and then look at this one. Okay, we have how many of these sections colored? Two of them colored. So the numerator will be 2, and the denominator is all of them, will be 4. So when we add all of these together, we add all of the colored parts. 1, 2, 3. So we have it right here. We'll put them over here. 1, 2, 3. And the number is 3. So when the denominators are the same, keep the denominator and add the numerator. See how they did that? We kept the denominator, and the only thing we had to add was the numerators. We just had to add the numerators. All right, let's see. Okay, so here we go. We're going to do this one. It says Danielle and Ryan, excuse me. Danielle and Ryan have 5 flowers to plant in the garden. Danielle plants 4 of the flowers. Danielle plants 4 of the flowers, and Ryan plants 1 of the flowers. What fraction of the flowers do they plant all together? All right, let's find out, okay? So, remember, before we start coloring and filling in, let's count how many parts we're working with. What are we working with? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're working with 5. Okay, let's put the 5 there. Oh, and it says we're working with Danielle. Okay, so Danielle and Ryan have 5 flowers altogether. So they have 5 flowers in the garden. So Danielle has 5. Ryan has what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see if it'll let me do this one too. 5. And who else has 5? Okay, so we're working with what? The same denominator. So we can go on and put that denominator there, because if with the same, we just keep that denominator. Okay, so let's go on. It's not going to let me put that there yet. All righty, so let's count. So Danielle she plants 4 flowers. Let's color hers in. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and Ryan plants how many? 1. Okay, so we're going to put her number here first. Her number is what? 4. And then the next number is what? 1. Okay, so now, like I said, we keep the denominator, and that denominator, see, now it'll let me do it. So when you're working with it and you're working with it on the computer, you have to finish these first before you get to your answer. Okay, so but when you're working on paper, if you see that all of them are the same, you can just put it on in there. So but working on the computer, you have to wait and let them tell you how to put it in. So you have to do the problems first, then you'll be able to work on the equal signs. So we've done that. So now we have 4 plus 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, and what is it? 5. All righty, so let's count. Let's color it in. 1, 2, 3, 4, and what? 5. And the number is 5. Now, in another process, when we have 5 and 5, so it just says one whole. When everything is colored, it becomes one whole thing, even though you see the sections there, but all of them are colored, so it's just one. They planted everything. They planted everything they had. Ryan and Mary Beth had 7 pots to fill with soil. Ryan fills 3 of the pots. Mary Beth fills 1 of the pots. What fraction of the pots do they fill altogether? Okay, let's see. Now, it says shade in the fraction of pots Randy fills. So he fills how many? 3. Okay, excuse me. Okay, just like in school, you have a little interruption, but let's continue. All righty, so let's shade in what Randy has. Randy fills 3 pots. So we have 1, 2, 3. All righty, very good. And how many altogether? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is that what we have? Let's see. 7. Very good. Now we have to shade in the fraction of pots Mary Beth fills. How many does she fill? 1. Let's shade that in. Okay, we have 1. All righty. Now, so how many altogether? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so where would the number 7 go? Would it go in the denominator or the numerator? What did we say the denominator is? It represents the whole, all of them. And did we count all of this wheel? Yes, we did. So how many? What's the number that goes here? 7 or the 1? The 7. Very good. And how many go here? How many go here? 1. Why would we put the number 1 here? What is that called? It's called the numerator. Yes, and it is what? A part of the whole 7. It's a part of the 7. So we'll put that there. 1, okay? Now, so we have to do what? Now do we have to do? What are we doing? Are we adding or subtracting? We are adding, and it's what all together. So let's count all of the shaded parts in first. Okay, remember our rule. Now, our rule is if we have the denominator, let's see if it'll let us put it in. If the denominators are the same, then we can just carry it over, okay? So it's allowing us to do that, and we're going to put the number what there? Are we going to put the number 1, 3, or 7? We're going to put the number 7, correct. All right, now if you know 3 plus 1, you still got to show it up here, okay? So let's show it. So we have what? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's fill it in. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's count this. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So what number goes here? 4. Good job. All right, so that's it. So just remember, we can use our calculators. We learn how to carry, and we learn how to add fractions with like denominators. With the denominators the same, you can add those. You just focus on the numerators, okay? Now remember, you can use the calculators when you need to add numbers over 50, but if you don't, remember, you add it in the column. Keep the ones together, and then you add and carry in your tens, okay? Carrying the number. All right, so make sure you go over the guide, take your time, and as always, you are a unique learner, and thank you for learning math with Miss Rosie today. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate you. Thank you. Keep learning. Keep learning.